Shalom, first and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory and honor unto Yahweh Bashmi Shai Basham Kadash. Double honors as always to the apostles and elders of great Musa who taught us well and lead the flock by example. Double honors to them, and shalom to the hopeful elect, man. You know, pushing this word and sharing truth and believing in Yahweh Bashmi Shai in these in these days that are these evil days. Okay, and speaking of evil days, man, this article here recently, you had Wilkinson's, which is it's a pretty major retailer that's been around for a while. Okay, I'm not sure if they're in other countries, but I know if they're in the UK, and pretty much they're going into administration. They're done, and thousands of jobs are being lost, man. Okay, and I saw this article, right? I'm broken hearted. Customers mourn the end of Wilko. And this is just there's been many shutdowns, man, of different retailers. Okay, and basically it's a sign of everyone getting squeezed. Okay, because the economy is not what it used to be. Okay, and that's thanks to the elites basically making it that way, man. All right, because what they want to do is they want to cause complete chaos, and they want it to be, basically a terrible time out here. Okay, where you're gonna have to try and basically rely on them for everything, man. And that's all the will of Yahweh Shmiel Shai. And I'm gonna get you the scripture, right, showing you this prophecy. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12 verse 3. It says, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble. Okay, who's the keepers of the house? Esau. Okay, and the strong men shall bow themselves. Okay, and the grinders cease because they are few. Okay, so that's whose house is it? This is Esau's house, meaning this is his kingdom, right? In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease. Now the grinders, like when you say I'm on my grind, what does that mean? It means you're working, right? Grinders, when you're like grinding something. Okay, but let me check that word grinders out, because I know that, for example, if you was a blacksmith, you could be grinding a sword. That's work. Grinding, mill, to grind, to crush. Oh, look there, to grind mill, exactly. Okay, employment. It says, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. So basically the economic outlook of this place is getting worse and worse, man. Alright, that's why you got inflation and hyperinflation. Okay, you got economic woes in all different countries. Okay, the value of the currency is being constantly devalued, especially places like America. Okay, you got people in droves homeless, on drugs. Okay, people out of jobs, and it's getting worse and worse. He says, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of grinding is low, meaning ain't no jobs, man. Okay, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. All right, all this mirth, all this entertainment, when people can't eat, they ain't gonna be on the forefront of their minds. Okay, and really, the music these days, the quality is just terrible, man. Okay, when you listen to, even more recent, you listen to like 80s and 70s, even 60s music, it's good, But even going back, man, music is like you got Baruch music, which means blessed music, the classics, the music that people listen to today, man, it's just trash. Okay, and that's all part of prophecy, man. Everything is being brought low. This man's kingdom is basically, being sucked dry. Now, let's go to Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, and go to verse 6. Okay, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long? and to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. Now this is talking about, okay, the elites and debt. Okay, this system of debt that's been set up. When you look at the debt clock, for example, of the US. In fact, let me type it in, US debt clock. The US national debt is, that's millions, that's billions, 32 trillion, man. Hopefully I'm reading that correct, yeah. So that'd be 694 billion, 32 trillion. Then you've got the debt per citizen, debt per, man, it's done. Okay, Babylon is done, man. Now, if they call in that debt, that's a whole different issue, right? It says what? That ladeth himself with thick clay. So when you look at that word thick clay, you might think, well, what's that talking about? Now the word there in the Hebrew is abatya, okay, which means a weight of pledges, heavy debts. Okay. So debts, right now we're in an economic system of debt slavery, man. All right. And Esau is manipulating, okay, all sorts of things within this kingdom, okay, to basically squeeze out the people. Mortgage, the base rate is rising, so you got mortgage rates increasing. Okay, businesses are getting penalized, and more harsher, stricter guidelines are being set by the government. On top of that, you got imports being affected, especially after Brexit over here in the UK. Okay, the prices of everything going up. The value of the currency is being devalued. This place is basically getting, the shelves are empty. Things ain't coming in like they used to. You got grain facilities being put on fire. This place is, getting shut down, man. And a famine is coming. Now let's get that. The scriptures talk about a famine. Let's get 2nd Ezra's. There is a couple scriptures. Let's see. Let's start with this one. 2nd Ezra 15:5. Actually, this is the one I want. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, which is coming, famine, death and destruction. So famine is part of it, man. Okay? And ultimately it's under the control of the Lord. Okay, but basically the Lord's sword is who? Okay? The Lord's sword is the wicked, which is Esau, who's in control right now, he's in power right now. Psalm 17:13. Arise, O Lord, disappoint him. Cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. So that's part of that destruction that's coming too. Okay? And what's this devil doing? He is basically squeezing his kingdom, man. Alright? Because he wants to bring about a new system. And that's what this is all leading up to. See, that's why this... Man, I put Mark 13. That's why this prophecy is very pertinent to the time and very important for you to know what it is. And let's go into it. Revelation 13:16. And he calls of all, and when you read up, it's talking about the beast, EU and NATO, the system that has been set up by Esau, his power structure. And he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Which, when you go into the word mark there in the Greek, it basically goes into something that's inserted, that's cut into you. Okay, the word there is charagma or charagma. Okay, it's carved in, right? And as you go further into the root word, it really establishes what it is. Now, the word karux and the root of charagma, a pale or stake or palisade, basically something that's stabbed into you, which the device that is going to deliver the chip, the implant, is going to be that needle, that syringe that's going to put it into the skin, that's going to pierce the skin. From carasso, to sharpen to a point, through the idea of scratching. Now, if you go further into the root word, it says the word is grapho, right? I'm going to get straight to the point. There's a couple bits here. Let's go to 2 and B. To write with reference to the contents of the writing. To commit to writing things not to be forgotten, write down and record. So what's going to be recorded in that chip? Your details, man. Okay, your ID, your bank balance, all of that is your health, all of that is going to be in one place. That's what this devil wants to do. Alright? That's what he's moving on. which is going to give him complete control. Now, as soon as this devil moves with that chip, he ain't gonna last long, man. Everything's gonna move quick, because scriptures say as he is about to fill his belly, the Lord's gonna rain his destruction upon him, man. That's in Job the 20th chapter. Now let's do verse 17, and this is how you know it's economic. And that no man might buy or sell. So unless you've got this implant device, there's gonna come a point where you ain't gonna be able to buy or sell. You're not gonna be able to partake in society. Period. Save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name, because you ain't gonna be able to scan it, man. Because if you ain't got it, you ain't gonna be able to scan it. That's why those of us of the household of faith are gonna trust in the Lord to look after us and feed us in that time. All right, and there's many examples of the prophets being looked after, the men of the Lord being looked after. Okay, even Israel were being looked after in the wilderness. Okay, as wicked as our people were being. Okay, but in this time, the Lord's going to take care of his elect. So that's basically what's coming down the pipeline. So things like this, man, have been happening, and it ain't nothing new. More and more, there's going to be more job cuts and more woe as the day of the Lord approaches, man. Okay, because we're entering into this time. Let's end on that. This is Jeremiah. These last two scriptures. This is Jeremiah 30:7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even a time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. So we're coming to Jacob's trouble, man. Alright, which our trouble, okay, the tribes, you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and also is also the trouble of Esau too. Okay, everyone's gonna get it, man. It's gonna be a time like never before. So none is like it. That's how great the day is. But he shall be saved out of it, meaning the elect. That's who are gonna be saved out of it, man. I'm gonna close out in this. Precepts with this. This is Daniel 12:1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. Okay, the archangel Michael, which is going to come back with Yahushua to judge this place. And there shall be a time of trouble. We just read that in Jeremiah 30. Jacob's trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. Alright, so what's the bit that says he shall be saved out of it? In case anyone tries to get silly. And at that time thy people, so it can only be out of Israel, shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book, which is the book of life. That's the elect. Okay. Revelation 20:15. And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. So if you're not of the elect, you're gonna be in that thermonuclear destruction that's coming, man. I ain't talking about hell, by the way. The lake of fire, because America's gonna be completely nuked with thermonuclear ICBM missiles, man. Okay, so all you're gonna see is just pure fire, mushroom clouds and fire, man. Okay. So that was just a quick one, and Lord willing was edifying. On to the next one. Shalom.